There we are. Hello everybody, I'm El Bristow, welcome to Elitopia Gaming. Welcome back to KSP Live. Last week we started in a hard mode game, which you guys kind of helped me configure. We've started with the usual hard mode stuff, no Kerbal respawning, no reverts, no quick saves, no quick loads. We've started with 0 funds. And we have, what else did we do? We set the penalties and everything to 1000%, which means that upgrading all these buildings and things is ridiculously expensive. This one being the key one at the moment. We need 520,000 funds to upgrade our launch pad so that we can weigh over 18 tons with any craft. And this is 2.1 million funds, which we need to be able to build with more than 30 parts. Now, landing on the moon with 30 parts and 18 tons restrictions, that's pretty difficult. But we're going to see if we can do it this week. Last week, we managed to get kind of close. We got to the moon. We went past the moon. We didn't actually have enough fuel to land or send back the surface samples and things. We have the contract up here. We have the Mark 16 parachute test contract. We haven't actually managed to get that one yet because we've not reached the criteria at the right point. We've been going too fast at these altitudes. We need to try and do a shallow re-entry to try and get these kind of speeds at those altitudes. But here we go. This is our main contract. Explore the Mun. Land on the moon and transmit or recover scientific data from the surface of the moon. They are the ones we are trying to get. We haven't yet upgraded mission control, so we can't accept another contract. That will cost us 320,000 funds to upgrade that so that we can get another contract. But yes, today's mission is going to be to try and see if we can land on the moon. It would be nice to be able to land and leave the moon and hopefully get back again. We will see where we get with that. Hello everybody in the Twitch chat. We have, let's see, who have I seen so far? We've seen the Imprisoned, we've seen XX Beardy XX Beardy. We've got Sheaf, we've got the Spots 97. I'm not sure if there's anybody else in there. If there's anyone lurking that hasn't said hi yet, any of our regulars, then please make sure that you do so. We are going to load the craft that we used last week, which I believe was the Faraway or the Far Away. This is what we used to get close to the moon, and it is right on the borders of what we're allowed. We can have more parts, we can't have any more mass, which kind of means we're a bit stuck. Well, you know, if we haven't got the parts, we haven't got the parts. We have a new follower. JK LOL MLG Pro. Juklolmulg Pro. Welcome, Juklolmulg Pro. Thank you for the follow. I'm getting a message on Steam. Bear with me a second. Let me just reply to that because it's someone trying to get on the stream and they are having issues. So I'm diverting them to elitopia.com in case that is an issue with Twitch. Okay, yes, it is a hard name to pronounce, that one. Okay, so yeah, this is what we used for our flyby of the moon. I really would like for us to be able to get some more fuel into this thing, but I don't think that we're going to be able to do that. The only way we could possibly do that is if we stage this. No, see, I can't even do that because I can't fit another engine on because we've only got 0.1 tons of weight left. So, well, I mean, this is kind of all we've got. So let's. We've even taken the monopropellant out already. There really is nothing much more I can do to lighten this load. So we're going to make this the Faraway 2, and we're going to take Jeb with us. We're going to use exactly the same craft, and this time we're just going to try and get a very efficient launch and see if we can get to the moon. I'll tell you what I am going to do, thinking about it. I'm going to attach a Communitron to this thing because we forgot that last time. And we couldn't send back any science, and if we're not going to be able to land on the moon, we kind of want to be able to at least send back the science. We've got batteries. We don't have any solar panels. Have we unlocked solar panels? Ah, right, okay, let's unlock solar panels, because that's some parts that we can take without adding too much weight. How much do these weigh? 0.005, yeah, so we can take a fair few of these. Let's take something like that, and then we'll take some front and back like that, so they don't interfere with that. And we'll take a couple on here, just so we know for absolute sure that we've got the power that we need. And actually what we could do is only take one of these, which, I mean, doesn't really save us that much weight, but it saves us a little bit. And then I will do what I usually do with this, and I will embed it inside our fuel tank. See, these all kind of stick out the side, so I like to do that. Yeah, we can still see the whole solar panel. There we go, there we go. Let's sink them all in. Lovely, lovely. This one we'll have to do the F key and move that in. There we go. Okay, so they look a bit more streamlined now. How many mods do we have? How many mods do we have for the chat? That's a good question. We have about 3 or 4, but very few of them ever actually seem to turn up. So we might be in the market for some more mods in our Twitch chat. Oh dear, that was the wrong one. Hang on, let's put that back. I wanted to click. Oh dear, can I not click that solar panel now? Oh dear, okay. I've embedded it too far, so I can't move it. Oh well, let's hope it still works. Yeah, we might be in the market for some new mods in the Twitch chat. We have quite a few regulars who might be able to qualify as mods. I'm not going to look at that right now, but maybe we will have a look at that a bit later. We've got Moobot running, so he will help us keep control of the chat. So, is there anything we can get on this that isn't going to weigh very much and is going to make it easier for us to get to our destination? So we could stick some Separatrons on. How much do they weigh? 0.07. No, that's even too much. That'll push us over. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. So this is the Faraway 2. We're going to save this and check our thingy. Yeah, everything there looks okay. So we save that, taking it out to the launch pad. And we're going to have to be very, very fuel efficient with our launch today. Let's see just how fuel efficient we can be. So, we are here on the launch pad. We are already facing roughly in the right direction to be going east. And, well, there's very little to do other than put our throttle up, put our SAS on, and smack the spacebar. And we're away. Oh, and we're flying off to one side. Let's not do that. Let's come back vertical. That's not a good start. Why are we flying off to one side? That's better. That was a bit of a weird start. We're obviously slightly off with our aerodynamics here. What altitude is the most fuel efficient to start to burn? Well, ground level would generally be the most fuel efficient to start to burn. Do you mean to start your burn towards the moon? The most fuel efficient altitude to start your burn towards the moon is generally just outside the atmosphere, as low as possible. Usually you would burn at your periapsis, and that would Sorry, I'm concentrating at the same time. Turn. To start your turn, the most efficient place to start your turn is at about 10,000 metres if you are playing in the vanilla game. And generally what you find is you need to reduce your thrust as you start to turn very, very slightly to be the most fuel efficient, because that helps your prograde marker drop down quicker so that you are burning more efficiently. The closer you are to your prograde marker, the more efficient your burn will be. Generally I aim for about 1.5 Gs of acceleration. Let's get Jeb to hold us to a prograde at the moment. Let's see what our apoapsis is doing. Yeah, it's going up pretty quick. We're at 40,000 already, so we can start to slow our burn down already here at 30,000 metres as the atmosphere starts to thin. And the stars just starting to appear. Looking good. Is our apoapsis outside? No, not yet. So, woo, what are you doing, Jeb? Okay. Oh, we just switched to orbital trajectory. So that's our orbital prograde. We can slow down even more now. So long as we're above 1 G, we're all right. Our apoapsis is outside the atmosphere now. Let's push that up to about 80, 85. In fact, we're about to run out of fuel, and that'll be about the right time. So let's let this run out of fuel. There we go. Cut engines, detach that, and then we'll let ourselves drift up. Mind you, I made that mistake before, didn't I? Let's give it a little bit of thrust. Yeah, we're approaching our apoapsis pretty quickly, so let's burn a lot. Hey Jelly, welcome, welcome. Good to see ya. Where are we in relation to Mun? Ooh, we're in quite good positioning for a burn direct to the moon. So let's hope we can organise that. Got home just in time. Well, I am glad. Always nice to have you with us. Our apoapsis is kind of shooting away from us. Not really what I want, so I'm going to cut my engines now and let us drift a bit nearer. Once we get kind of to the apoapsis, we are going to be looking at burning almost straight to the moon. So let's speed up time a bit to about there. Let Jeb find prograde again, and then we'll just burn. And hopefully we'll be able to burn almost straight to the moon. We'll see how that goes. We've used quite a lot of fuel, but I think we're going to be okay. So long as our periapsis comes up outside of the planet, then we're going to be okay. So here comes the periapsis. And we are there. We are in orbit. Not the most ideal position, but not a terrible position either. That camera's a little bit high, isn't it? Let's bring that down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we're kind of almost in the right place to be burning anyway. I'm glad that we are dropping in altitude, because that means we are technically speeding up, which is good. which makes our burn a bit easier. Generally, it's a good idea to burn at your periapsis. That's the most efficient place to burn, because that's when you are already travelling at your fastest in your orbit. But if we do that here, we'll end up going in the complete wrong direction. So let's just see. Speed things up just a little bit to about there. Where are we? We want to be at about 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, about 4 o'clock, yeah. For when we burn, so that it comes to over there somewhere. Now, if I remember rightly, I got this wrong last time. And we ended up kind of missing it. We were behind it, so I don't want to burn too late. I'd much rather burn earlier, because I can catch up to it, but I can't... I don't know. Well, let's see. I'm going to burn about now. Yep. Let's see where that takes us. So how's everybody doing in the Twitch chat today? I hope everybody has had a nice week. I've had an okay week. I've recently been having a look at a few new games on the market, a couple of new indie games on the market. I have one that I'm testing at the moment, which looks like it's going to be interesting. It's a... Oh, that's a bit high, isn't it? I'm a little bit high there. We might have a polar orbit. Let's see. Yes, I'm testing a game called Track Day Manager, which is a racing management simulation. Something a little bit different. Not something that I would usually test, but it's an interesting looking game. I love racing sims or racing management sims. I used to be a big fan of Grand Prix Manager and games like that years ago. Yeah, I'm glad to be a part of the closed beta testing team. It is in its early stages. It's not ready for release yet. There are a number of bugs and a few features that haven't been implemented yet. But I'll be doing a first play video and then hopefully tracking some of the new features as they get added. Oh, there we go. We are within the moon's influence. What's our periapsis? 79. That's not bad. Not bad at all. So we are definitely going to the moon. Going towards the moon. Let's get in close to our periapsis and get Jeb to point us retrograde, and we need to watch our fuel. This is going to be interesting. What I want to do is bring us into an actual orbit, which will be about there somewhere. Lovely. And then how should we do this? I want to be on the light side of the moon. I might do a few orbits so that we can land on the light side of the moon. Let's see how that goes. I want to bring my periapsis so that it's on the light side of the moon. Oh, that's not going to happen, is it? Idiot. Right. Okay. New plan. Because of course our orbit is going to be... Because we're in tidally locked. It's... That's going to give us an issue. Right, so to land in the sun, we're just going to have to burn our periapsis in. And then start our ascent early. Ascent? A descent. Right. We're going to have to do a slowdown burn like here somewhere. go. Right. So we are speeding up. Let's come down to about here. Obviously there being no atmosphere. Here we are. This is the moon. Let's get ourselves slowing down and keep a close eye on our fuel. Don't strand Jeb like you did with TAC Life Support mod a while ago. No, I hope we are not going to be stranding Jeb. I'm hoping that we're going in for a decent landing, and if we... I mean, we probably are going to run out of fuel, let's face it. Because we haven't really brought much fuel with us, but hopefully we'll be able to send some kind of recovery for Jeb once we've unlocked the science and funds that this is going to give to us. Yikes. This is using a lot of fuel. This is not great. I have a feeling we're going to run out of fuel and we're going to be going too fast. Oh dear. Forget stranding Jeb. We are quite possibly going to be losing Jeb. Right, we're going to have to cut the engines. We might have to do a... we might be doing a head landing. I don't know how well that works on the moon. Let's take us down a bit. Yeah. So, oh, I can't EVA. I can't EVA. Come on, come on, come on, come on. No. Oh. Oh. Oh dear. I can't EVA because we haven't unlocked the technology to EVA yet. So we have lost Jebediah. Oh. Okay. Well, I am sorry, Mr. Jeb. We were very close. Yeah, that didn't count as a landing either. So, with 183,000 funds, there is not very much that we can do to improve our situation here. We can't do anything there. We have no extra science. And we can't accept any extra contracts either. We might have to... oh, look at the reputation hit on that. Goodness me, we can't even do that. Right, we're going to have to do a test launch to try and get this contract. This is going to be an experiment launch. We shouldn't need those. That should be more than sufficient. So this is going to be it's going to have to start with G because it's a new craft. Let's call this the can't think of a name. I need something beginning with a G. I was thinking the Getaway, but that doesn't really work for me. I know. There we go. It's the Geronimo. We're not going to need all these. Oops. No, of course, I can't actually take them off because I can't click them. Oh well, we'll take those. The solar panels, that is. This is... we probably don't need that either. And we don't need that. We can take that off. Anything else we can take off? No. So yeah, our plan is going to be with this. We're going to go up to probably 25,000 meters. Get our speed right, and then test that parachute on the top. However, is best to do that. So let's see how that goes. We're probably going to need to hire a new. Yeah, we're going to need to hire a new pilot, aren't we? Yeah, let's do that now. Let's save the Geronimo. We'll go and hire a new pilot. And in here, let's see. Ribsy, Samgi, Kerry. Not very courageous, fairly stupid. Average courage, average stupidity. But Ribsy is very courageous and very stupid. So let's have Ribsy Kerman. He will play today. The part of Jebediah Kerman will be played by Ribsy. And he is going to be our test pilot for this flight. Save that out to the launch. And let's see if we can pick up this contract so that we can accept another contract so that we can start picking up some funds. I think the mistake that we made was taking the mission to the moon too early, which is a common mistake. We should not have taken the mission to the moon quite so early. We should have ground some funds first so that we could build a decent moon launcher. But anyway, here we go. We are on the launch pad with Ribsy Kerman in the Geronimo. Let's see if this thing can test the Mark 16 parachute for us. We are away at a decent speed. As I say, all we need to do is get up to 20-odd thousand within the right speed restraints, 140 to 540. That should be doable. What I want to do is get the apoapsis just above 23,000. And that will hopefully put us in a position to do this test. They should add a Jeb Jr. Kerbal in the game. Well, perhaps they should. They're going to be adding female Kerbals into the game. So there's no reason why there wouldn't be a Jeb Jr. If any of you missed that announcement, by the way, there was an announcement earlier today that the next version of Kerbal Space Program is going to be version 1.0. It is going to be the first official non-early access release of Kerbal Space Program, and there are still some massive changes to come in that release. They are completely overhauling the aerodynamic system, the lift and drag system and all that. That is all going to be completely overhauled. They are adding female Kerbals. They're adding all sorts of things. Oh look, we've gone too high now. There we go. Let's watch our speed. We need to get above 20.2, and we need to pop the parachute then, which is about there. There we go. I didn't actually mean to get rid of the fuel tanks, but we have achieved that test, which gives us 1,312 funds, 68 reputation, which is great. Now we are, here we go, we are going to come back down. Good. Let's hope that fuel tank doesn't land on the launch pad, because that will probably break it, unless it gets 2.5 kilometers away from us first, which let's just hope it does. Yeah, they're also in 1.0. They're also going to overhaul the Tier 0 buildings. Apparently, they're going to change those up slightly, possibly taking them back to the whole kind of barn, very very basic idea that they came up with originally. But with slightly improved models in that respect. We'll put it this way: there's a lot of very interesting stuff coming in point one, in one Kerbal Space Program 1. So I'm very interested to see how that's all going to pan out. And at this rate, that fuel tank is not going outside of 2.5 kilometres before it reaches the ground. We might be about to blow up our vehicle assembly building. That would be interesting. That would be game over. Oh, they're adding game over as well in 1.0. Game over system so that you can actually lose the game. Come on, fuel tanks. Don't break stuff. Where are you going to land? Hopefully you're just going to miss. Yeah, looks like they're just going to miss. Good. Oof. It was very close though. Look at that. Wow, that was close. I wonder if any of that survived. Should we see if we can land on the vehicle assembly building? No, gonna miss it. Okay, did that too late. Should have done that earlier. We'll get to land right next to it though. We can grab some science points. Whoops. Okay, should have done that a bit earlier. Not the most successful 2 launches, I must say. Let's grab a crew report from here. There we go. Crew report from the VAB. Some very important science points there. I will already have that one, won't I yet? But if we let go, bong, ouch. EVA report from the VAB. 2.2 science, lovely. So recover you. And then we'll recover the craft, and then we can accept another contract and hopefully get some more funds. Funds are of vital importance at this stage. He gained 1 XP, that's good. There's the Geronimo, recover that. So we have 179,000 funds. Let's see what we've got here that gives us funds. That would give us quite a lot of funds, but that's quite a tricky contract to take on. That would give us a fair chunk of funds, 28,000, and that's for science data from space around Kerbin. Science data from space around the moon, that's a lot of points, and we know we can achieve that. If I take that, get up into orbit, then come back and accept that one, and head to the moon, that would be kind of a good idea, wouldn't it? Let's do that. Science data from space around Kerbin, and then we can come back and take that one, and we'll head back to the moon. 4.3 science means we haven't got any science tech stuff that we can unlock. We could unlock this fuel tank and use those to save on parts, but we don't need to save on parts. What we need to save on is weight. Let's reload the Faraway, because we know that that can get us close to the moon. I wonder if there is a better way that we can deal with this. Like solid boosters, maybe? See, a solid booster weighs 3.75 tons. Our engine weighs 1.25 and the fuel tank weighs 2.25. So if I didn't use that engine at all, out of interest, let's pull up a calculator a second. What's going on there? Right. 2.25 mass is 180 liquid fuel. So 180 divided by 2.25 is 80 times by 4.5 is 360. So the ratio is exactly the same. So there's no advantage to using that over multiples of that as far as weight is concerned. You get the same amount of weight. Although that would be, oh yeah, that would be 4.5, that's 4. Yeah, so there is no advantage. There's no advantage to using those. So let's not fiddle around with anything like that. They weigh 0.9, that weighs 1.25, so one of those is still better than two of those. Can anyone think of a more efficient way that we can manage this launch? If I take that off, that doesn't really save us much weight, does it? No, 0.2 tons. So the big issue is that we just don't have enough we don't have enough fuel, and we can't add any more fuel without going over the weight restriction. Unless let's pay for some of these. Oops, let's do that, that's better. Am I on right? Yeah, they're on straight. Right, so we're going to be we're over the mass limit there, but if I now, no, not that, this one. Let's see how low we have to take that. Oh yeah, no, that's really not worth it. Okay, so the tank on its own is far too heavy, so put those back on. Of course, yeah, because these were partly empty already, weren't they? Yeah, I've removed the monoprop from the capsule already. I wonder if we can do it without solids. Can we do it with just liquids? We know that that can launch. No, we wouldn't get to the moon, would we? There's no chance we'd get to the moon. So that's the best we can do. So we've got 5 spare parts, but only 0.2 tons in spare weight. Yeah, I can't think of anything we could possibly do. Right, hold on. How much do they weigh? 3.74 tons. They weigh 0.9. So if I took some more of those, took those off and put those on instead, would that give us, because that would give us even thrust all the way through the launch as well. They're more efficient. I'm going to give that a try. I don't know if this will actually get us to the moon or not, but I'm going to give it a try. If I add, say, another at least 2, let's see, let's go for 3. I know this looks absolutely ridiculous, but what we could do is 1, 2, 3, something like that. Unlock these, and we'll add, say, 3 of them. I don't know if that's going to be too heavy now, actually. Oh yeah, we're way over. Okay. No, that's over. No, that's over. And that's over. Goodness me, okay. What do you think? Because the thrust on those, they have a max thrust of 120, so two of them is thrust of 240. The max thrust on that's 215. They've got gimballing, so I can use all three of these in the launch, ditch that off once that fuel runs out. What do you think? Is this going to get us... We can't call this a Faraway. This is a completely different rocket. So this is going to have to be with H. Start thinking of names that start with H for this rocket. But more importantly, do we think that this will actually do what we need? Hey there to the people joining us in the chat, by the way. I've seen Akinesis, KSP. We've seen Mr. Breadloaf, Soviet Man. Welcome to all you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to hit the follow button if this is your first time here. We're just looking at putting together a rocket to get us to the moon with only 18 tons and 30 parts. And I'm wondering... And there we go, there's a new follower, Soviet Man. Thank you for the follow. Hercules, what an excellent name. Hercules. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. Herobrine. that would have been a perfect name. We're gonna, in fact, yeah, we're not going to have Hercules. We're going to call this the Herobrine. Sorry, Volcanics. Spots 97 trumped you with that one. And we'll bring our new pilot with us. That's Ribsy. Come on, Ribsy. Oh, that's another new follower, Akinesis KSP. Thank you very much for the follow. We're saving this. We're going to take this out to the launch pad and see if this actually... Oh, we're not going to do that with that on the same stage. Glad I spotted that one. Save that, and we'll take that out to the launch pad and see if this thing will actually launch. Oh, sorry, it will actually launch. Of course it's going to actually launch. Let's see if this thing can get us anywhere. This is going to be interesting. So, SAS is going on. Our throttle, we probably aren't going to need 100% throttle. So let's leave our throttle somewhere there, and we can quickly boost that if we need to. And our first... You like my new follower sound, thank you very much. Our first mission is going to be to get into orbit and transmit some science from space. So that should be... Hopefully this should be sufficient to get us into orbit. Let's see how far it can actually get us. So come on, Ribsy, let's see where you can take us. Here we go. Oh, that's a decent speed launch. Actually, slightly too fast still. Let's bring that down a little bit. Now, let's watch how this fuel goes. Because this is going to be draining from here, isn't it? Yeah. So we need to still be a little bit careful. In fact, that fuel is draining a lot faster than I would have liked. Oh well, maybe I should have only had one of these fuel tanks. I think this fuel is draining quicker. Yeah, not ideal, not perfect, but not terrible, considering the limits that we were working with. We're at 5,000 metres, doing 158 metres a second. Let's just up our thrust a little bit. Coming up to 10,000 in a moment, where we will start our turn. Here it comes. There is 10,000. So let's start bringing our... Of course, we can't use the track periapsis mode now. We can reduce our thrust, however. Come on, periapsis, down you come. Aha! There goes that. Come on, down you come. What quality settings am I streaming? Yeah, I'm at 1024x576 as far as Twitch is concerned. I'm recording in 720p at this end for YouTube, but I downscale it for Twitch. I keep the quality relatively low because it seems like the guys that follow me here on Twitch are running on slightly slower connections. Our apoapsis is way up there. Oh, look at that. Our fuel's just run out. That was perfect. That was absolutely perfect. Obviously, we've got slightly less fuel in here than we did in our previous launch. But look at that. Our apoapsis is at 75,000. And we ran out of fuel just as our just as we got there. So that's ideal. Ideal. Probably a slightly more efficient burn than we had last time. But no, I don't think that we will be able to land on the moon. We can transmit or recover from here actually, can't we? And that will count. Let's get ourselves pointing down there. In fact, let's do that. Let's get a crew report from here. Transmit that. We've got plenty of electric charge. And that gives us that. 28,000, 1 science and 96 reputation. Let's get ourselves burning now. Ooh, why did that wobble? Come on, up. Oh dear, I may have done that a bit late. Point ourselves up just slightly. Yeah, I think I did that a bit late. Okay, hopefully we'll be in orbit before we re-enter the atmosphere. Not that re-entering the atmosphere is a terrible thing. I mean, it's not ideal, obviously. And it's not particularly efficient for us to be burning. Why is it doing that? It's as if we've fired a parachute. This doesn't want to... Look. What a pain. We have re-entered the atmosphere. This was not very good. Look. Why is it spinning over like that? It's not supposed to do that. It's because of the parachute on the other side, I know, but I don't think we're going to space today. I certainly don't think we're going to the moon. I wonder. No, I don't know what's going on there. We've messed something up completely there. But never mind. We managed to transmit the data from the space. That's how we ended up pointing. Great. Let's just speed things up. This is going to slow us right down, and we are going to come back. We're coming back to Kerbin. Ooh, okay. Let's re-enter the atmosphere sideways and at high speed. And at quite low altitude too. Okay, let's pop the parachutes. Coming down horizontally. SAS can go off. So yeah, not an ideal launch, that one. I tried to circularize too late, and that really just didn't work. So, but we did get the science from space around Kerbin, so let's see what we can do after this. There we go, that's nice and slow. Get a crew report from... Oh look, we can. Flying over Kerbin's waters. I didn't know we hadn't got that one, so there we go. Some extra science points as well. Didn't know that Twitch had statistics now. Twitch has always had statistics for the broadcaster. Are they showing statistics? Ooh, splash! Are they showing statistics for the viewers now as well? Is that what you mean? Because if so, I do believe that is new. This thing wants to sit on its side. I believe we've already got all the EVAs we're going to get from... Oh no, okay. EVA from Kerbin's waters. Take store. So we've never picked up the EVA reports from here yet. I say never. This is only the second live stream like this, isn't it? So experiments you collected cannot be stored. Why not? Oh, because it wasn't flying above. Okay. Oh well. Let's recover that vessel. So that's a few extra science points. Right click for stats. Is that? Yeah, fair enough. Okay, 14.4 science points, 197,000 funds, neither of which is sufficient for us to actually do anything. So let's see if there's any other contracts we can pick up from here. Oh, that's visual surveys of Mun. Look at the funds we can unlock with that, and all the science points. Visual surveys of Mun. Oh look, I like that one. Test Rockomax landed for 24 science. Yeah, I'm doing that one. That's an easy one. We can do that one. Let's do that on the space on the runway. See if we can pick up some science on the runway as well, because I don't think we've done that either. What was that we were supposed to be testing? The Rockomax 487S. So let's plop that there, and we'll grab that and stick it on the top. There we go. Woo! It doesn't really matter who we take with us. So this is going to be tester. Have we already done a tester craft? Pod test alpha. Okay, oops, I didn't mean to save that. Just delete that. So this is going to be pod test beta. And we'll take that out to the runway and see if we can pick up some runway science. Okay, so first things first, let's activate that. There we go, and pick up 283 funds and 24 science and 3 reputation. Let's get a crew report. We have already got the runway crew report and things, which means we'll already have the EVA report from there. Yeah, okay. So scratch that idea. You board, and we'll just recover that straight away. Get the funds back for that engine in that pod. And we probably haven't quite got enough to spend those science points. Next. Oh look, science data from space around Kerbin. Shall we have a retry of what we were going to do just now? 101 reputation, 4,500 up front, 27,000 for completion, 1 science, Yeah, definitely worth it. And then we'll try again at using that to kind of slingshot us to the moon. So let's load the Herobrine. Now, I'm going to change things slightly because this gives us 144. I'm going to see if I can use our weight a little bit more efficiently, because that'll give us 90 and 45. If I take that off, we'll unlock that, and we'll go for one of them, and one of them, and then that. And that should keep us, if I calculate that correctly, should keep us within those weight limits. Okay, that wasn't quite right. There we go, we've got half a ton. Need to put a battery on. Just the one should do. And some solar panels. I think maybe we took too many solar panels last time. We've got these up here. Let's link these up a little bit. There we go. Oh, let's get the offsets right. There we go. Yeah, I don't think we need any more than that as far as solar panels are concerned, which means we're very, very slightly lighter. Which means we will be very, very slightly more fuel efficient. Those engines are now the wrong way. Now, fuel-wise, this didn't quite work how I expected it to. Would have been nice if we'd have had some fuel pipes, but we don't. So, is there any way we can add slightly more fuel? No, we're definitely over the weight. Oh, mind you, hang on. We have slightly more control over the fuel this way. There we go. So we're bang on the weight limit with 22 parts. So that's as much fuel as we can possibly take. And what I'll do is I'm going to limit the thrust on those so that they burn a bit slower during our ascent. In fact, I'm going to restrict that just a little bit more, so that this burns out quicker, so we can dump that weight, and these will then be more efficient in the later stages of the launch. We're going to call this the Herobrine 2. Herobrine, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. We'll take Ribsy with us. We will save it. Let's check that all this is right. Oh, that's not right. There we go. Save that. Out to the launch pad. Come on, Ribsy. Let's get it right this time. Okay. So let's see if this works. SAS is going on. Throttle is going up to roughly where it was last time. A little bit higher because we've restricted the thrust on these guys. Let's see if this thing works, shall we? Here we go. Come on, Ribsy. We're away. Decent thrust. We are. Yep, we can reduce our throttle again very, very slightly. And fuel is disappearing in a much more balanced fashion this time. Still not great. Oh, I've just had a fantastic idea. Oh, why didn't I think of that before? Right, we'll come up with that in a minute. In a minute. We'll work on that one after this launch. Let's get this thing into space, pick up these science points, and then we can have a look at the next iteration of this rocket and see if it will actually work the way I'm picturing it in my head. Coming up to the 10,000 now. Here we go. Let's start our turn slowly. Reducing our thrust. Whoa! Okay, that fuel ran out. That was rubbish timing. However, technically it was actually very good timing, because it ran out just as we reached our gravity turn. Okay, so yeah, we're doing okay, Let's keep our thrust down. Time that right. So we must be getting there. Okay, apoapsis is at about 75. Let's put it at about 75.5. Yep, that'll do. Let ourselves drift up a little bit, and then we'll do a full whack burn as we leave the atmosphere. And that will be very soon. 68, 69, and there we go. Let's burn horizontally right now, so that we don't make the same mistake we did last time. Okay, and we are burning too hard, so let's bring that down. Let ourselves continue to drift up to the apoapsis slightly. This has been a much more efficient burn this time, I believe. This engine's going to have to do a lot less work to get us into orbit. Okay, we are approaching the apoapsis. So, time to whack it into full speed again, which will hopefully push our apoapsis away from us and bring our periapsis up. Here it comes. And we are in orbit. And we have half a tank of fuel left. So that's good. So now we can transmit or recover space from here. Let's get our solar panels pointing towards the sun. Whoops. There we go. so that we recover the battery power straight away. Let's transmit that 0 science, but receive in return 1 science and 27,000 funds. And then now that we are in orbit, oh yeah, not a bad place for burning towards the moon. Let's head back to the Space Centre and accept that other contract. And then with that other contract, hopefully we'll be able to get a load of funds from the moon. 218 we're up to. What do we need to upgrade that? 520. Really, really not easy. Science data from space around the moon. So we'll take that, and then hopefully we'll get... I wonder where the visual surveys are. Let's go, let's have a look, see if we can see where the visual surveys are, because we could plan our orbit to be able to see them. Oh, they're almost equatorial. That's pretty good. So we could possibly manage some of those. Or if I got it into a polar, we might actually pick up all of them. What do we think? It's going to be tricky to aim for a polar orbit. But in theory, we could... I mean, even equatorial is going to get probably both of those. And then that one shouldn't be too tricky to dip down and get. Okay, so it doesn't really make a lot of difference what kind of orbit we get. We should be able to pick those 3 up. So we've accepted the contract for transmitting space from... Oh, I should have stayed in there. Transmitting space from around the moon. Transmitting space. Transmitting science from space around the moon. So now all we need to do is get to the moon, which we know we can do, and we have successfully done it on previous attempts. Can't do it from here though. Let's spin ourselves round and get ourselves into the right kind of position to do this. Can't speed it up enough. Yeah, we're not going to go outside of 120,000, so we're just going to have to wait for it. And then we're going to want to burn around here somewhere. That's about there. So let's get ourselves prograde and get ourselves burning. Ooh, I might not have... Oh no, I think we're okay. Thought maybe I hadn't judged that right then, but I think we're going to be okay. There you go, guaranteed to reach the moon that way. Not going to be a polar orbit. It is going to be a lunar equatorial orbit. Let's just hope we don't actually collide with the moon. Periapsis of 31,000. That's not bad. So, can I transmit science from here? Will that count? I'm pointing towards the sun, hopefully. Yep, good. Let's take a crew report. Oh, it's new science as well. Look at that. Let's transmit that for 9 science. And that does indeed unlock that. 54,000 funds, 2 science, 203 reputation. Our reputation's going through the roof. So, while we're doing this, you know, not quite full flyby of the moon, let's head back to the Space Centre and see if we can pick up those flybys. What if the universe is in a bottle and we're getting transported? Who said we aren't? There we go. Perform visual surveys of Mun. 18,000 for each of those, plus a bonus of 108,000 with an upfront payment of 27,000. That's not bad. So we're up to 308. Let's see how many of these we can pick up. See, look, they're equatorial as well, so we could possibly do those on the way home. Maybe. At a push. So come on, Herobrine 2. Let's get ourselves in close. Whoa, let's not get ourselves in past. And let's not burn prograde, let's burn retrograde. There was about 6 R's in that retrograde. Let's do a slow burn to bring ourselves into an orbit. Oh, that orbit is a little bit high, isn't it? We'll probably get that first one up there, and then we'll have to adjust our orbit to get the others. You know what I didn't check? Below 9,000 metres, above 9,400, below 10,000 metres. That was a bit silly. Why didn't I check that first? They're going to be hard to pick up. Let's bring our apoapsis. See, that's at 31, so let's bring our apoapsis to about 10, which will actually make it our periapsis. Yeah, we're not going to be able to do that, are we? Which of these are which? Above is 9,400. Take a crew report, 9,400 near CNC. That is that one. So the above, fortunately, is the first one we can come to. So let's come up here, and we need to, let's see, which way do we want to do this? Is it that way? Nope. I always do those the wrong way around. Woo, where are you going? I don't think our pilot's going to be coming home from this flight, by the way. There we go. Let's hope that that is close enough to count, because we haven't got enough fuel to really do anything else with that. It was worth the funds though. What do we think? Is it going to give us it? Entering CNC. Take a quick crew report, and there we go. We don't even need to transmit it. There is 18,000 funds and 36 science. Oops, come back. For that one. However, this pilot is kind of stuck here now. We're not going to be able to get him home. So we'll leave him. He's in a fairly good orbit. We can possibly make that a bit more. Let's bring that to an even 60 odd, if we can. 61 by 64, so that makes it easier for us to rendezvous with him later to rescue him. He is going to now be doing some orbital science for us, namely sitting there doing not a lot. We've already got the crew report from there. He's got fuel, he's got sunlight, there we go, but he is not dead. He is still present. So, and now that means that if ever we need to if ever we need to bash the microphone, if ever we need to pick up more science from the moon, we can just come and see Ribsy and he can do that for us. He's going to be our cosmonaut for now. So let's go back to the Space Centre. $326,000 funds and 86 science. Now, do we have any more efficient rockets we could use? The ones we have at the moment, we have this one, which has an ISP of 370 in a vacuum. We have this one, which has an ISP of 370 in a vacuum. We have this one, which has an ISP of 360 in a vacuum. So do any of these have... So that's 370. That one is 390. So we could use a poodle to get us there, because that's slightly more efficient in a vacuum. Max thrust of 220 as well, which is pretty good compared to... where's our other one? Hang on. There it is. See, that has 300. That 390 rather in a vacuum. So that's higher still, isn't it? Oh no, 390 in a vacuum. 270 ASL, 390 in a vacuum. 390 in a vacuum. It just has higher thrust, so it can push more. What's the... It's 270 in atmosphere. It's got 320 in atmosphere, so they are better in atmosphere. Yeah, that one's better in a vacuum, but not in the atmosphere. That's about the same as the others. Okay, so they don't really give us any particular advantage at this point. That one, 350 vacuum. But that's not as good. I really don't get that. Why is that not as good as that one? That's 390. And that's 350. Strange, 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 strange. I always feel like that one should be a more efficient engine, even if it's only slightly. But there you go. Mind you, it has a much better thrust to weight, I believe, doesn't it? 30 thrust for 0.1 mass. 50 thrust for 0.5 mass. So, calculator again, 50 over 0.5. Oops, 50 over 0.5 is 100. And 30 over 0.1 is 300. So yeah, you do save a lot of mass with those. However, I can't afford it at the moment. I'm still 4 science short. I'm just wondering whether I need to save up the 4 science and get that rather than using these. See, 2 of those gives me 60 thrust out of 0.2 mass, whereas that is 0.5 mass for less thrust. So the thrust to weight is much better, which means it's easier to push those engines into orbit. But they're slightly less efficient. 390 vacuum plays 350 vacuum. Difficult to say. So the question is, do we unlock flight control and get the Stay Putnik, because that has a mass of 0.05 as compared to 0.8 for the pod. So technically we could send... Oh, mind you can't take a crew report with those, can you? So we can't do these... We can't do these missions that we're doing at the moment with the Stay Putnik because we can't do a crew report. Oh yeah, and the Stay Putnik's got no SAS, so we'd have to put an SAS on it. Mind you, the small reaction wheels are quite light as well, 0.05. Okay, well, I think we're going to need to save up some extra science before we unlock anything then, and I think it will be these. Have we done a rove around yet to pick up science from around the KSC? Let's have a look. Kerbin landed. Launchpad runway KSC. So we haven't even taken VAB. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to do a pod rover. And if any of you have watched my KSP USC series, UHC rather, USC? What's that? KSP UHC, you will be familiar with the pod rover. Come on. Why can't I work this out today? Hang on. There we go. Is that clear? Yeah, they're clear. Make sure we can't see that. Good. Okay. We could do that with a Science Junior on either end as well, actually. Don't know if the reaction wheels are quite strong enough to do it with that as well. I've never tried it with the Science Juniors as well, but let's find out. This is going to be Pod Rover 1. Who should we take? Yeah, Bill, you can come with us. Save that. Take that out to the launch pad. Okay, and here we are on the launch pad. Let's check that we've already got everything that we need from here. Yeah, I'm not going to bother with that. Materials bay. We've never observed a materials bay from here. Well, there you go. There's the 4 science that we needed. However, I didn't bring any batteries, did I? Oh well. Let's time warp. And stop. This thing's got a lot of momentum. Why is it still going? Stop, you stupid thing. What the... What's going on? Oh, okay. Yeah, I messed up. I changed the... There we go. I changed the... what's it called? The trim. So we're probably just off the crawl away now. Oh no, we're on the crawl away. There we go. Keep that data. Mystery goo. Keep that data. Materials bay. Keep that data. And will we make it? Where will we make it to? We're going to go off, aren't we? I can't turn this thing because of those materials bays. Okay, well it looks like we might probably be going to the space plane hangar or the administration building at this rate. Let's speed up time and do it that way, watching our battery power. Doesn't really matter if we run out of battery, just means that we won't quite make it. But yeah, we are. We're going to run out of battery power. Oh well. Never mind. Let's see what science we can get from here. From KFC. KFC? Yeah, we haven't done any observations from KFC. Okay, well we've picked up some science, recover that vessel, and that will push us above 90, so we'll be able to unlock something in the tech tree. 104, there we go. So we picked up 18.2 science without really doing much at all. So we can now unlock this. Research that. And close that. And then we can have a look at... Not one of those. Let's go back to the Herobrine 2. And it'll be this stage up here that we need to play around with. Now the question is, how do we attach 2 of these at the same time? Because I don't think that we actually can. Unless we do something quite bizarre and radical with 2 fuel tanks. Such as this is going to be an aerodynamic nightmare, but what do you think? Oof, not a lot of clearance on those, was there? Move that up slightly. I'll tell you what, no, let's do it the other way around. Let's move these down. Move that up inside there, making this a bit more compact. Okay, so we're still within the weight. Yeah, we're still within the weight doing it that way. We We have batteries, we have a battery, we have solar panels. We now have 2 engines which give us 60 thrust, which is 10 thrust. The chicken is delicious, KFC out. This gives us 60 thrust instead of 50 thrust from the other engine. These engines are a lot lighter, which means that both these stages will be more efficient. Unfortunately, we've had to add that, which is extra weight, but it's only 0.125 extra weight. This was 0.5, so we're still weighing less, and we've got more thrust. Marginally. We've got the same amount of fuel. Now, let's do something spectacular down here. And I don't want any comments of that's what she said. Let's go with 3 of those, but none of those. And an extra 1 of these. See what I did there? Can you guess what it is yet? Take that off, put that there. In theory, we should need less fuel in order to launch that. And it's only 17 tons. Make sure their thrust limiters are back up at 100%. Have they got enough there? They should have more than enough lift, actually, shouldn't they? Thinking about it, I'm going to add even more fuel if I can. Let's see if we can add a whole extra 1 of those. No, we can't, because that puts us at 19.3. So 1 of these would be 18.2. So the best we can do is 1 of those. But that's not the end of the world. Now we can't use Herobrine for this because this is a completely different design again, so we're going to call this the ignition. Move these engines to there, put them at the bottom, and then we've got, let's get these in the right order, that one, then that one, and those. And then that on re-entry. Don't need the fuel ducts on this occasion. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We definitely do, actually. But we need them the other way up. We don't want 3. Probably only need 1. Oops, I keep bashing my microphone. I'm very sorry to those of you wearing headphones. Okay. Oh, I'll have to move my microphone. What's going on with my camera today? It always seems to be in the wrong place. Well, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm in the wrong place. Okay, let's see what we can do with this thing. We want to get this thing somewhere near the moon. Couldn't you get rid of the girder and just attach the 2 side tanks to the central tank? Could we? The problem is we then need to attach this underneath, which I don't think will actually work. Upper stage. Oh yeah, the upper stage does need a fuel duct actually. Well done, well spotted. Is there some way we can do that? If I take that off. Oh, I see what you mean. You mean attach them to the side of that. Right, I see. Yeah, good idea. Sorry, yeah, I totally missed that. Oh, probably want to, though. Yeah, excellent idea, thank you. Good job, good job. Da. Are you Russian by any chance, Dingbat? You're not using any... no, I'm not using near or far, so indeed, who cares? It certainly looks somewhat less phallic this time as well. Okay, so we've still got solar panels, we've got fuel. Yes, we are going to need some external fuel ducts. How are we going to attach these? Let's go for something like that. French-Canadian, okay. Not Russian. Very much not Russian. Yeah, I think that'll work. I think that will actually do the job for us. And we are still 0.3 tonnes within our weight limit, which is good. We're up to our 30 part limit, so we judged that quite well. Let's see how efficiently this thing burns, shall we? So this is the ignition. We're going to need another pilot again, aren't we? Save. Yeah, okay, they're all right. Exit that. And let's go and hire ourselves a new pilot. Sam Gee, not very courageous. If you don't have a full tank, you could increase the fuel. No, I think we have got full tanks all round. Sam Gee, come on, Sam Gee. I will check that. I think we have full tanks all round now. Yeah. So, Sam Gee is going to come with us. He needs the experience, and we're going to take this out to the launch pad, and hopefully this thing will fly. One of the odder craft that I have built, I will admit. But actually, in theory, this should be a very stable craft, because we are pulling it rather than pushing it. So I'm interested to see how this thing actually flies. SAS going on, thrust to 100% because I don't really know how this thing's going to handle the takeoff. And, well, let's see where we go, shall we? Here we go. Wow, that's ideal for a takeoff. Whoa, that's not ideal for a takeoff. Why did that happen? Emergency landing. Something went very wrong there. Nice safe landing at least. Did you bleed the RCS fuel from the pod? Yeah, the RCS fuel is out of the pod. Why did that go so horribly wrong? It went sideways as well. Too much mass force. Yeah, but I'm pulling it. That shouldn't make any difference. The mass distribution shouldn't... Or too much mass forward of those, do you mean? Or where is the centre of gravity? So do we need to be pushing behind the centre of gravity? Yeah, we do, don't we? So would that work better? Means that that stage is pretty short. Let's hang on. Is that going to be better? In theory, as soon as we start burning, the centre of gravity will start lifting. And that should mean we're always ahead of the centre of mass. Always behind the centre of mass, rather. Let's check that these are all on 100%, just in case it was something stupid like that. No, they're definitely all on 100%. Well, that's the ignition 2. Samgi's still with us. Let's see if that will launch. Ooh, nice blue ball. Okay, so technically the aerodynamics of this are a bit more like an aeroplane than a rocket, but there we go. So let's try this out, shall we? Let's go for a launch and see what we get now. Whoops, I didn't put the thrust up. Okay, much better. Much better. And that's empty. Ditch it. Which way is this going? Yeah, that one's emptying first, followed by that one, so we'll wait until this one's emptying, and then we can ditch that one as well. Here it goes, it's emptying. And as that empties, we will ditch that. There it goes. And we're coming up. Whoa, our thrust is getting quite high. We're up at 10,000. So let's turn. Hope the launch pad doesn't get destroyed by the debris. Hopefully that debris is quite light, and plus it will be more than 2.5 kilometers below us, so it will despawn before it reaches the actual launch pad. So we will be alright. Thrust is too high. Come on, bring the thrust down. Wow, these things have got a lot of thrust to them. Where's our apoapsis? 40,000 already. You know what? I think this was actually an extremely economical launch. Our apoapsis is coming up on 60 already. We've still got a fair bit of fuel left. Ooh, let's make sure that we're tracking our retrograde. Okay, it doesn't despawn; it unloads. Sorry, I got my my terminology right. Wrong. Sorry, I got my terminology right. Okay, 77, 78, 79. We'll cut it there. we've got a little bit of fuel left in this stage. So we'll take ourselves up a bit. Let's get ourselves outside of 70 and then we'll do a horizontal burn. There we go, we're outside of 70, so let's full whack. There we go. And let's hope the thrust on these. Oh wow, okay, yeah, the thrust on those is definitely good enough. So let's wait until we get our apoapsis. Perhaps about there. Because that will be more efficient still. Look at that, that's pretty good. Happy with that. And we're in orbit with more than half a tank of fuel left. Oh no. Okay, not really too sure how that worked out. Is that draining from there okay? Yeah. Okay, okay, yeah, not looking too bad. So we need to come round to head to the moon again, don't we? We aren't going to be able to bring our guy back. But we might be able to get another one of these visual surveys. So let's speed us up and bring us round for another burn. It would be nice to get a polar orbit this time, but I don't think we're going to. It's quite tricky to burn from an equatorial Kerbin orbit to a polar lunar orbit. Certainly without maneuver nodes. Might have left that slightly too late, I'm not sure. Let's give it a go anyway. Where's our prograde? Well, hold on. Thought I had 2 retrograde markers then. Right, here we go. Burning to the moon. This thing's extremely light. Very twitchy on the controls. Look at how that fuel is burning. That's pretty good. I want to be a little bit careful because I would like, ideally, to bring this guy home. There we go. 23. Again, very tight on the fuel. I don't know if that is going to be enough to bring him home. We might find ourselves with a limited supply of pilots. Oh, and that's a very high orbit this time. That's not necessarily a bad thing though, because it means that it will be easier for us to adjust our orbit at a higher altitude. 1 million meters. That is quite a lot. Woo, okay. So let's aim our periapsis. Got to try and get our periapsis below like 9,000 meters. go, 8,400. That's very, very tight for hitting some of the cliffs on the top. But we then need to be able to, somewhere about here, burn to push the periapsis down here somewhere. I'm not sure where our whole ascending node, descending node and everything would be, but I think it would be somewhere around here to flip the periapsis down to pick up one of those. Very tricky to get these maneuvers right. I think it's somewhere like that. I was going to burn in the wrong direction again. Let's make sure we are burning in the right direction. We are. Ooh, okay, we don't want to put our... There we go. That's going to allow us to pick that one up. Again, we're kind of stranding our Kerbal though, so we still don't have enough fuel to actually do these missions with our 18 ton limit. We really need to work on that. It's going to be very close to the moon. There we go. Now entering sector whatever it is. To take that crew report. Was it good enough? It was. Look at that. We don't need that, but it gives us another 18,000, another 36 science. Getting that one is going to be a real pain. I wonder if we can burn this out of the influence of the moon with the fuel we've got left. If we're going to, we're going to have to do it right at the periapsis. So let's speed this up. Mind you, it's probably best for it to be... Yeah, it's going to be best for it to be in an orbit around the moon, isn't it? If we're going to try and recover it later. So, let's bring us to the periapsis. And again, we'll use the last of our fuel to bring our apoapsis in to make recovery easier later. There we go. 204. So, 2 Kerbals. Sightseeing around the moon. Let's make sure that this one faces the sun. So at some point we're going to need to send a recovery mission. But there we go, we're getting there, Building up some funds, building up some science points. It is a bit of a grind. And science data from space around Kerbin. But we can't accept it because we can only take 2 contracts. I think the 1000% penalties that we're running does kind of make this more grindy. Which is not ideal for a live stream. Ideally, it would have been nice to have been able to unlock the launch pad by now. 520,000 funds would have given us 140 tons, 142 tons that we could have, 140, yeah, 140 tons that we could have worked with. But that is not. That's not ideal. None of these give us any advantage, do they? That cockpit's lighter, actually, isn't it? 1.28. Oh no, it's heavier. Okay. Didn't realise that. I thought that was lighter. That's considerably lighter. And that, with a reaction wheel, is still considerably lighter than any of those. But that would only really be... It would be alright for the survey missions. Means we wouldn't need to use a pilot for each of those. We wouldn't have the SAS, but that last launch was quite doable. I wonder if we would be able to land it on the moon if we save that much weight. It's a very tempting proposal. I really want to get this onto the moon today. I'm unlocking that. I'm spending our science unlocking that so that we can use the Stay Putnik to attempt an actual moon landing. Obviously it won't be manned. We won't need a parachute either because we don't really need to save it. Hello? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Oh, we need the reaction wheel as well, don't we? There we go. So it's got a reaction wheel. We don't get SAS on that, I don't believe. But that is a lot lighter now. Look at that. We've unlocked a whole ton that we can use as fuel. So in theory we could, let's think, how much do they weigh? They're 0.05. We do still have a part limit though, don't we? If I swap that for one of those, that's 2 extra parts we can use. And then I can do the same down here. And then we've got 24. Right, so can I actually fit one of those on? No, that's half a ton over. So, oops. And that's exactly the same. So if I use one of those, 17.4, 17.9, and then they get ditched off.